آتيناه الحكم صبيا وحنانا من لدنا وزكاة وكان تقيا وبرا بوالديه ولم يكن جبارا عصيا وسلام عليه يوم ولد ويوم يموت ويوم يبعث حيا واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حيا الله حيا الله أستاذنا الفاضل، كيف حالكم؟ إن شاء الله نبدأ إن شاء الله.
نعم إن شاء الله، تفضل.
نعم. بسم الله، إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Again, we say greet everyone with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you to our program this evening, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefits us from that which we are going to hear today. The discussion this evening is about, as been advertised, the Ramadan and what the Ramadan has come to teach us. What are the lessons that this great month, the month of Ramadan, What are the lessons that we're expected to take from this month? And how do we benefit ourselves from this month? It is very, very important for a person who, a Muslim that is conscious, and a Muslim is that has good intellect, to think about some of these opportunities, and when they arrive, and when it arises, how best a person can benefit from it. And this is what our Ustad is going to be talking to us today about, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for him, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefit us from that which we hear as well. فَلْيَتَفَضَّلْ مَشْكُورًا.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. We thank Allah subhanahu jalla wa ala, al-wahidul qahhar, the only one God who has blessed us with the shahr of Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, the month of Al-Quran. We ask him jalla wa ala to accept from us and from you all our ibadat in this month, and to count it among something that will be heavy on our Mizan al-Hasanat Yawm al-Qiyam. Dear brothers and sisters in Al-Din, we thank Allah, and we thank all the brothers who are volunteers on the Muslim platform, being a platform calling to the Kitab and the Sunnah, especially in the West, especially in London or in the United Kingdom, even though, yes, of course, we know people join us from all over the world. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward every one of you. Now, because of time, we need to run quickly. What are the lessons the month of Ramadan has come to teach us? What are those lessons? The number one answer is that those lessons are kathir jiddan. There are many lessons, a lot of them. But today, inshallah, we are going to focus on few among the men. Few among the men. It is no hidden, it is not hidden knowledge that Ramadan has a goal and objective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a goal for us, his servants, for this month of Ramadan. And we know that in the popular لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Okay? يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The main goal of Ramadan is that you and I fast so we can increase in the consciousness of Allah in our hearts, in our life. Taqwa, it is the main goal of Taqwa. It is the reason why we are fasting, so we can increase in the fairness of Allah that we have, so in the consciousness of Allah. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he defined what Taqwa means as the upswing and the downswing of the consciousness of Allah in our hearts, so that can teach us, according to what my wife taught me before the class. He says, so we can rekindle our relationship with Allah, so that Ramadan can empower us to be able to fulfill Allah's call. Allah has called us to fast. It is a commandment, so that we can also build a new relationship with Allah. So it can teach us humility, so that it can teach us kindness and generosity. All these are all popular lessons of Ramadan. There is no doubt about that. But when we dig deeper, what exactly does Ramadan teach us from the lenses of the Sunnah of the best of mankind, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? You wouldn't know, you would agree with me, that every Muslim knows that the Muslims need to pray Salah. Oh, every good Muslim will pray Salah 5 times a day. Every good Muslims are fasting right now in the month of Ramadan. Muslims will pay zakat. They will go Hajj. Okay? They will go Hajj. They will even perform Umrah in Ramadan. Some people even make the Umrah in Ramadan to be like an annual ceremony, annual ritual they have to do. All this the Muslims will do. But let us ask a question. Why has Allah sent the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why did Allah send Muhammad ibn Abdullah to us? Why? What is the reason of the risala, of the prophethood of the best of mankind sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, إنما بعثت لأتمم صالح الأخلاق. Definitely the only reason why Allah sent me is إنما, definitely without doubt, بعثت, I have been raised. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I have been raised, I have been sent as a prophet لأتمم صالح الأخلاق, to come and perfect good character. He didn't talk about Sunnah. He didn't talk about. He said to come and perfect human character, good character. The reason, if you don't know before, know now that the hadith, that the reason why Allah raised the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to come and perfect human character, good character. If this is the reason of his prophethood sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if this is the reason, then there must be a connectivity between the reason of his nubuwwah and the month of Ramadan. And we are coming back there. Somebody came to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and said, what do you think I can do to enter paradise? One of the reasons why we are fasting Ramadan is that we are going to enter paradise. In fact, there is a popular door of Jannah called Ar-Rayyan. Ar-Rayyan. This door is only going to be للصائمون, people who fasted the month of Ramadan. لا يدخل في هذا الباب إلا الصائمون. There is no one that will enter this door of paradise. There are many doors of paradise. There is Babu Sulah, Babu Rayyan, Babu Sadaqat, and there are many other doors. But there's a particular door that enters the paradise called Ar-Rayyan. This door, nobody will be able to pass through this door to the paradise except the people who are so immune, the fasting people. This man went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, tell me something that when I do, if I do them, I will enter the paradise. What did he alayhi salatu wasallam say? He says, ittaqillah, fear Allah, wa usnul khuluq. If you can have fearness of Allah, and you can also make sure that your character is good, then you enter the paradise. So two requirements there from the Sunnah of the Prophet. If you want to enter paradise, make sure you focus on the fearness of Allah. And the fearness of Allah is that you have the consciousness of God in your heart all the time, whether in private or in public. That is what it means. The second requirement, if you want to enter the paradise, is al-usnul khuluq, good character. Make sure your character is good. Second point. The first point is that it was raised to come and perfect to come and perfect human character. The second point is good character is part of the requirement to be able to enter paradise. He also says, ما من شيء في الميزان أثقل يوم القيامة من حسن الخلق. On the day of resurrection, there is something called al-mizan. وَوَضَعَ الْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا. And Allah has placed the mizan, the weight, that will weigh you and me يوم القيامة. In Surah Maryam, Allah says, هَذَا الْأَمْرُ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. It is an amr that Allah has already concluded. It must happen يوم القيامة. There is no one that would pass judgment of Allah except that you and I will be physically weighed on the mizan, the weight. The mizan has two sides, the right side, the left side, the good and the bad. Something that will weigh heavier on the day of resurrection on the mizan are the goodies, the salah, the siyam, the fasting. He says, ما من شيء في الميزان أثقل أفضل أكبر اسمه تبديل There is nothing that is weightier, that is heavier. Yawm al-Qiyamah on the Mizan, Yawm al-Qiyamah min usnul khuluq than good character. Good character is going to weigh heavier, is going to weigh more solid on the Mizan Yawm al-Qiyamah. If those 3 points, and there are many other points, if they are enough to show the evidence that good character is one of the reasons for the nubuwah of the best of mankind, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had come to do the reformation of character, of good character. And even let us ask ourselves based on our acting of our intelligence, what is a religion that does not teach good character? What religion is a religion that you practice that religion and your character is evil? Who are you, the Imam of Mecca, or the Imam of Medina, or the Imam of Nigeria, or the Imam of London, that you are praying Salah, and in the month of Ramadan, you are fasting Ramadan, but you are still a liar. You are still cheating people. You are still cunning. You are still breaking a manner. Who are you, a religious man, that you call people to good, but you yourself, you are evil? Who are you, a deceitful person? Who are you, somebody who steals other people's property? Who are you? People trust you with money and trust you with their secrets, and you do not have good character, but you pray for them, and you fast Ramadan, and you pay zakah, and you go on Hajj. أَفَلَا يَتَذَكَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ. Why can't you think? Who are you? The one who has big religion, but he has no good character. People do not see him as a good person. The Muslims see him as evil. The non-Muslims do not trust him. He, alayhi salatu wassalam, he has said nothing is heavier on the scale of Mizan Yawm al-Qiyamah apart from being a good being, good charactered person. This is an evidence. That's the soft pillar of Islam. You know the hard pillar? There's Salah, Siyam, and all that. But those are not enough. Because the one who is only focusing on that, without focusing on what we are about to talk about, that person is going to come as a Muslim. And the Muslim for Yawm al-Qiyamah will be somebody who had prayed Salah. He had fasted Ramadan. He has done a lot of good. And he will come with a big, gigantic reward of those reward of goodness. Yawm al-Qiyamah. Walakin Allah will stop him. Allah will say, okay, while you have preached Salah, you have fasted Ramadan, you have done this and that, but you have backbited so and so. You have cheated so and so. You have committed atrocity so and so. You have oppressed so and so, and they will collect all his goodies, and he will be left with nothing, and then he will be thrown into the hellfire. That is al-Musrif, the bankrupt person. So this evidence shows that Islam is actually telling us that we should focus on the soft pillar, which is the good character, that would aid us to maximize the reward of the what I call the hard pillars of Islam. Fasting is a hard pillar. Salah is a hard pillar. But the most obvious thing that we need to know is that fasting is not just abstinence from eating and drinking. It is about what is the character building lesson that fasting has brought for us. As Siyam Ramadan, as we know, has come to teach us how to be truthful, how to be patient, how to have service to humanity, the development of good character, and warning against bad character. It is the aim of the month of Ramadan. So what does Ramadan come to teach us? Ramadan has come, my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Ramadan has come to teach us character reformation, character building, good character building, character reformation, because this is the epitome of the messengership of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Kama qala alayhi salatu wa salam, innama bu'ithtu liutimmima salih al-akhlaq. And for the reason why I was raised is because I have come to perfect human character. Now I'm going to remind us briefly few points, maybe 5 or 6 lessons that Ramadan has taught us that relates to the reformation of our character to make us a better person by the end of Ramadan. Let me let you know, brothers and sisters, that Ramadan fasting in the technical meaning does not only mean abstinence from food and drink. We're coming back there. The number one lesson that Ramadan has taught us, that has come to taught us, which is a lesson of Ramadan or a tool from Ramadan, is as-sabr. Patience. Patience. Patience builds the character against complaining. Patience builds our character against complaining. Everyone complains. In fact, it is the nature of human being that we complain. In fact, Allah told us in Surah Al-Ma'arij, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ خُلُقُ عَلُوًا إِذَا مَسَّهُ شَرٌّ جَزُوعًا وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ خَيْرٌ مَنُوعًا. The son of Adam, naturally, they complain. When good happens to them, they hide it. When evil happens to them, they complain. They complain. They tell everybody, oh, I don't have money. Oh, I am sick. Oh, I have headache. They complain all the time. But in the sunnah of the character of the Muslim, complaining is the opposite of sabr. Complain unnecessarily would destroy your personality as a person, would destroy your relationship with people. People will run away from someone who complains all the time, somebody who buys pity from people. Pay attention to the majority of people who calls and comes to you. They complain about something that they can't control. For example, the weather is cold or the weather is hot. If you complain about the weather that is cold, do you have a thermostat to turn it hot? Oh, the weather is so hot in Nigeria. The weather is very hot in Abuja, in Lagos. The weather is hot in Maiduguri. Do you have a thermostat to make it cold? No, you don't. And that's why it is, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Inna ibn Adam, for surely the son of Adam, when something happens to him, he will complain. He will complain. When it is even very cold, he will still complain. There is nothing that will make a son of Adam not to complain. And that is a character. That is a mindset. Complaining. When you complain too much. When a man complains too much about the wife, or the wife complains too much about the husband, their relationship is going to start falling out and falling down. Complaining is not part of good character. And that is why he, alayhi salatu wasalam, was been narrated, was been described by Aisha radiallahu anha, that when food is brought to him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he doesn't like the food, he, alayhi salatu wasalam, will not complain about the food. He will just need that food and he will not complain. And then he would rather say, I want to fast the whole day. He won't say, oh, this food is not good. Oh, that's not good. Because when you complain, naturally, there are people around you that character would, if it would impact on them. When you complain, when you show that you are not a patient person, this would happen. What are we talking about? We're talking about the character of being a patient person that has come as part of what Ramadan has come to teach us. Stop. Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu was a companion who is in the service of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 10 years. Anas said, I was in his service for 10 years. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never complained about something that I did well or something that I did not do well. He never complained one single day. Complaining, brothers and sisters in Allah, what does sabr means as a lesson from Ramadan? If we think about it properly, when we're fasting and somebody comes to us and upset us, to fight us, what do we say? We say, in the soil. We say, I am a fasting person. And instead of fighting, we don't fight. Instead of retaliating, we don't retaliate. Because Ramadan, as a month of fasting, restricts us to taking revenge, restrict us from retaking, fighting people or replying to people who have been wrong to us. We say, I am fasting. That is enough evidence that Ramadan is a month of fasting, but it is also a month of sabr. where you see the patience of people increasing. In fact, by nature, you will find that most people who are, with anger problems, because they're fasting, they will say, if not because I'm fasting, I would have hit you on the head. So by default, naturally, you find people maintaining the default, nature of being a patient person. What does patience mean? Patience, to the scholars of Islam, they say there are three elements to it. Number one is al-habdul nafsun anil ghadab, to withhold yourself from anger, meaning for you to be patient. That is a character. When you withhold yourself from getting upset, because when you get upset, you see white, but you describe it as black. You see black and you describe it as blue. You see a good person, but because you're upset, you say, no, it's not a good person. It makes you to be an untruthful person. It turns your character from a good, truthful person to another person because you're upset. And that's why he told that person, when he said, advise me, for that. Advise me, what should I do? He said, do not get angry. Do not get angry. Not getting angry is an element of asab, the character building of being patient. The second element of being patient is al-habdul-lizani and-al-taqaft, to withhold the tongue from complaining. Don't complain. The complaint that you have been doing is too much. Complaining. In fact, there are some people naturally, they complain a lot that when something falls off their hand, they will shout, ah! And that it does not give them solution. They complain about everything that they don't have control about. You're holding a glass of cup, and the glass, boom, go down on your hand. Instead of you say, oh, my glass is broken, instead of the complaining, what are you meant to say? You're meant to say, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, khalas. Because that glass and that milk, they've already spilled. You cannot get it back anyway. So it is a character. Not to complain is element of patience. You have already had an accident, your car is already written off. And you are telling everybody, oh, today my car, and it's on your social media, your profile, today my car was written off, oh, and you start crying with crying emoji and all that. That's complaint. That type of character is not what Ramadan has come to teach us. The last element of asabu is al-ahdul jawarih and al-ma'asi, to withhold the body from sin. So, actually, not to sin. For you to see sinning, the opportunity to sin, and to withhold yourself, not to fall into sin, is asab. It is patience. So, three types of patience there. Number one, to withhold your body, yourself, not to get angry. Number two, to withhold your tongue, not to complain. Number three, to withhold your body, not to fall into sin. Patience over imperfections. Patience. You become patient, okay? You practice patience as a character of a Muslim. You make it a culture, you make it a mindset. And that's why Allah Ta'ala says in Quran 39 verse 10, Allah says, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرُهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ. The reward for the people who practice patience as a culture, patience as a character, patience as a mindset, is that Allah will give them a reward that is measureless. You cannot measure the reward of people that are patient. So the character of being patient, and patience does not just only mean those three things. Patience is to also have the ability to remain calm in situations that are turbulent, in remaining calm when things are not going well with you. When things are not going well, to withhold yourself from complaining and not having the imagined or expectation that Allah must do something for you right now. That is what patience is. And that is what Ramadan has come to teach us as a character building point or character building, exercise. The second point that Ramadan has come to teach us is the use of our tongue. Let's call it silence. The use of tongue. Whether you like it or you do not like it, Ramadan is not just saying that we should stop eating and stop eating or stop drinking from Fajr till Maghrib. No. The way we use our tongue is part of the reason why Allah Ta'ala has sent the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to train us. How do we make use of our tongue? So let's call this silence. Silence is a tool or lesson from Ramadan. Why? Because by the nature of it, people are tired. By the time after time is come, some people, they're already falling off. They can't even do anything. So by the nature, they will keep quiet. When you ask somebody, about something that I'm fasting, I can't talk now. Let's talk after iftar. So people are silent, not because they don't want to talk. Some people actually practice silence in Ramadan because they are careful, they don't want to lie, they don't want to talk about something. So Ramadan is a training ground as a lesson for us to know how we use our tongue. There was a popular saying, some people say it's an hadith, some people say it's not an hadith. وَإِن كَلَامٌ مِّن فِضَّةٍ وَتَسْكُتُ مِن ذَهَبٍ. If speech is from silver, وَتَسْكُتُ مِن ذَهَبٍ, learning how to remain silent must be from gold. The meaning of that is the way you use your tongue is very important. And Ramadan has come as a month where we use our tongue only for good. Only for good. What do we use our tongue to do in Ramadan? The recitation of the Quran, the calling people to Allah, the da'wah, illallah, saying good things that are honest. People know that when you are fasting, you must not lie. When you are fasting, you must not say al-fansa, all the bad words. Kama qala alayhi salatu wassalam. He said, Allah is not in need of your fasting. Man lam yada' ala qawli sur wal amal bi. Whoever does not abandon ala qawli sur wal amal bi. Whoever does not abandon qawli sur and the work of asur, Allah does not need him not to drink, not to eat. That person should be eating and be drinking. So that is showing that Ramadan is not just abstinence from food and drink. It is also abstinence from al-qawlu sur. What is qawlu sur? Qawlu sur is every bad speeches, every bad statement, and the work of evil, and every evil statement. This is al-qawlu sur. To abandon that in the month of Ramadan, meaning that it is the training of the tongue. The training of the tongue. Abu Musa al-Ashari, he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he asked him, Ya Rasulullah, Ayyul Muslim afdal, which of the Muslims are best? Who is the best Muslim? قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. The best of the Muslim is the man that the people are saved, the Muslims are saved from the evil of his tongue and the evil of his hand. My brothers and sisters in Al-Din, the one who uses his tongue, his mouth, to destroy people, to destroy the honor of the Muslims, to destroy the honor of people, to lie against people, to say what is not certain. He doesn't know the truth of things, and he tells people about this. That person should be kept. And in another place, he says, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل لخيرا أو ليصمت. So sometimes silence is preached by our religion in terms of our character than talking. So to practice, to know how to be silent when you need to be silent, to know what to say when you are meant to say it, it is the character of the Muslims that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has come to teach us. In fact, another sunnah, he will say the Muslims should not interfere. The Muslims should not say anything to something that he has not been invited to. If you have not been invited to something, why do you need to interfere and say something? They did not ask you about something. Why are you prognosing, interfering into it? Why do you need to say something? Why do you have that ego to wanting to say something? Especially when what you want to say might not be good. Why do people use tongue in their destructive way? Why do people use their tongue in a way that is destructive? Why? Number one, the reason why people do this is they want to get something off their chest. Something is bothering them. They want to just talk. Another thing why people use the tongue in the wrong way is jealousy and envy. And I said, they have jealousy for somebody. They just want to say something bad in order to bring that person down. You know, people want to crack jokes. They want to say something friendly. They want to have more followers. They want to seek favors. They want to use their tongue to, maybe they want to get more people. They want more people to come to them. They want to attract more friends. So they use their tongue in the wrong way. Whereas our tongues have destroyed our personality and our relationship in a very bad way. And that is why when you use your tongue to destroy people, what do you think would happen? People will get to know that this man's tongue, this man's mouth, the way he talks is always bringing other people down. My dear brothers and sisters in Allah, whether you like it or you don't like it, there is something that is very powerful that is connected to the tongue, the way we use our tongue. He alayhi salatu wassalam says, Man yadman li ma bayna lihiyay wa ma bayna rijlay adman lahu al-jannah. Let's pause there. That's a powerful statement. Man yadman li ma bayna lihiyay wa ma bayna rijlay adman lahu al-jannah. Whoever can guarantee me what is in between his two jaws, meaning your tongue, whoever can guarantee me the good use of his tongue, وَمَا بَيْنَ رِجِلَيْهِ, and what is in between his two legs, meaning your private parts, أَدْمَنْ لَهُ الْجَنَّةِ, I will guarantee that person the paradise. Subhanallah. That is a powerful statement to show to you that if you can learn from Ramadan and after Ramadan the good character of using your tongue in a constructive and good way, then you could have qualified for one part, 50% of Adman Lahu Jannah. That the Prophet ﷺ said, I will guarantee you the paradise. If you can know that fasting does not only mean not eating, not drinking. If you can practice truthfulness upon your tongue, if you can be careful not using your tongue to destroy other people, if you can be careful to make sure that you are not using your tongue in a bad way, then he says, I would ensure that that person becomes an inmate of paradise. Just to let you know, a companion went to the Prophet and said, O Prophet of Allah, teach me things that I should seek refuge in Allah against. What are the things that I should ask Allah refuge? You know, when we say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, ta'awudh. What should I do ta'awudh against? He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Qal, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri sam'i, wa min sharri basari, wa min sharri lisani, wa min sharri qalbi, wa min sharri mani. Oh Allah, I seek refuge against the evil of my sight, and the evil of my hearing, and the evil of my tongue, so I do not use my tongue in a bad way. وَمِن شَرِّ قَلْبِ, and the evil of my eye, وَمِن شَرِّ مَنِيِّ, and the evil of what comes out of my private parts. وَمِن شَرِّ لِسَانِ, the evil of your tongue. So, to train the tongue to be positive, to be constructive in the use of the tongue, is one of the lessons of Ramadan, or it's one of the character information of Ramadan. What do we use the tongue for? We use the tongue for the recitation of Quran. We use the tongue to tell people the truth. We use the tongue to call people to the way of Allah. We use the tongue to forbid evil and encourage goodness. If you don't know that the use of the tongue is a big old topic on its own, and it's not just for eating and drinking. If you don't know, our mother, Al-Umayrat bint Siddiq, Aisha radiyallahu anha, one day, because of a jealousy for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she wanted to put a co-wife. Her name is Sophia radiallahu anha. And she came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said to the Prophet, Ya Rasulallah, O Prophet of Allah, can you not see that your wife Sophia is considered jiddan, is shocked, she's shocked? And she put her hand like that. She put her hands to show that she is the beautiful one. The other wife is too short. She's not beautiful. Do you know what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did? His eyes became red. He became angry. His eyes became red. He became angry. But the statement that his wife Aisha said about another wife, that wife is short. He alayhi salatu, what did he say? He said, Ya Aisha, oh Aisha, laqad qulti kalimatan. Indeed, you have uttered one word, one statement. لو مزجت الماء البحر لمزجته. If we were to mix that one statement with the water of the ocean, that one statement would have contaminated the ocean. Subhanallah. Aisha radiallahu anha, she's one of the mubashirin al-Jannah from the world. Someone who had already knew that they were going to enter the paradise. She was the wife of the best of mankind, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She used her tongue in a very destructive way and mentioned something bad about another person. What did he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say? He said, if we were to mix that statement, that one word that you said, with the water of the ocean, that one word would have contaminated the water of the ocean. Dear brothers and sisters in honesty, how many times do you use your tongue to bring other people down? How many times do you use your tongue to lie about people? How many times do you hear something that you cannot confirm about another person, especially about their honor, and then you tell other people without you knowing whether it is true or not, even if it is true? How many times have you destroyed the honor of others? My dear brothers and sisters, the positive use of the tongue is one of the lessons that Ramadan has come to teach us. To use that tongue in the most truthful way, and to be careful about the evil of how we use our tongue. So, the second point is the use of the tongue. The third point is the default behavior of the Muslims. Al-Haya, shyness. Shyness. Ramadan has come to teach us how to be shy as part of the character reformation that he alayhi salatu wasalam has been sent to come and perfect. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't forget, he has been sent as a prophet to come and perfect human character, good character. So if you do not practice good character as part of your religion, all you focus on is salah, fasting, zakat, that's all you do. You do not focus on good character. Then no, my brothers and sisters, that you are not completing the task. We have mentioned assault. We have mentioned the use of tongue, Ramadan lessons. Third one is al-haya, shyness. To practice shyness as part of your character as a Muslim, it is a lesson from Ramadan. You know your Ramadan, whether you like it or not. When you look at the lewd people who are not shy. Look at guys in the hip hop world, the rappers, the clubbers, the people who goes to club, the club runners, people who owns clubs and beer parlors and casinos. And the Muslims who sell alcohol, Muslims who do casino, Muslims who do gambling, something like Jabbet, something, London Lotto, all those things. People who put their money into those things, even in the month of Ramadan, some of them are naturally in the shy mood. They shut down. They'll say, oh, there's no more clubbing. There's one musician in Nigeria, he's a Muslim guy, his name is Naira Marley. Naira Marley, in month of Ramadan, will say to people, we are fasting. And Naira Marley, his music is rough and tough, especially for the young people, the youth. His music is all about being a Malian, being a tall, green live, and like a Tupac, Amaru Machiavelli way of life. But in the month of Ramadan, even Naira would show them that he's reciting Quran. Naira has been seen, I met him in Dubai, in Al Bashar, praying Juma in Ramadan. So in the month of Ramadan, even people who are not shy, they practice shyness as part of the honor for the month of Ramadan. So naturally, the default mode of the behavior of the people in the month of Ramadan is that they are shy. If you want to know, around you find the Muslim girls wearing nude clothes in the month of Ramadan. You will find them wearing hijab, covering up their nudity. Maybe Ramadan will not go, they will start again, but during the month of Ramadan, they'll start covering up. You will see a guy who's drinking alcohol, he's been gambling, he will come to the mosque and he will start becoming very shy. And he wants to come for Tarawih. And we want them to come. You know, Muslims, the girls who are nude, I want you to come to the mosque. The guy who's drinking alcohol, I still want you to come to the mosque. The guy who's playing gambling, Niger bets and London Lotto, I still want you to come to the mosque. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is your Lord, has called you. Ya abd alladhi asrafu ala anfusihim. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Inna Allah yaghfiru kullu dhunubi jami'a. And Allah will forgive all sins. As long as you make tawbah, you seek repentance from Allah. This month is the month of repentance. And the character reformation lesson from Ramadan is that we become shy in the month of Ramadan. In fact, if you don't want to become shy, by the time you feel thirsty and hungry, you naturally fall into that shape of being shy. Why is shyness something that is big as a character reformation lesson from our religion? Why? Because it has been linked to our iman. Maybe somebody would think, why is it talking about shyness? Yes, shyness has been linked to our iman. The one who does not have shyness will not have iman. The one who have iman would automatically have shyness. And that's why the scholars will say, La iman liman la ayahna. There is no iman for the one who does not have shyness. Because one of the athar, one of the signs of iman is that the one who has iman would automatically become shy. And he alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, Al-hayahu min al-iman. Aywa. Al-hayahu, shyness, min al-iman. In another narration, he says, there are 73 branches of iman. The highest level of iman is called La ilaha illallah, is to say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And the lowest level of iman, branch of iman, is to remove something harmful on the way so it doesn't injure the people. In between that and that, there is branches of shyness somewhere here. And it says, Al-hayahu min al-iman. And if you don't want to know, he alayhi salatu wassalam has been described as a shy person. He has been described as what? As a shy person. In fact, there are different narrations that describe him as a cool-faced shy man. If you remember the story of Abdullah ibn Salam, who was not a Muslim, he was an enemy of Islam, but he was sent to go and see what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was telling the people in Mecca. Abdullah ibn Salam, he went there. When he went there to go and spy on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when he got there, what happened? What happened? He met the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, "Ayyuha an-nas, it'amu at-ta'am, fafsahu as-salam, wa sallu al-layla, wa dakhalu al-jannah bis-salam." That is the exact statement. But Abdullah ibn Salam went back to his people and told them how he said it, the tonation by which he said it. And he said, I saw his face. His face was comforting. His face was cool. That face is not the face of a lion. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Min al-hayayi, from his shyness, from the look of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that he does not look like a nude man. He does not look toggery. He does not look like a thug. He does not look like someone who has no shyness. He was a shy man. My brothers and sisters in Allah's name, disrespectful body language Disrespectful body language is part of shyness. The way your face is to the people around you, the way your face is to your parents, to your brothers and sisters, the way your face is to your wife and husband in the house, even to your children. That face is an element of your character. That face is an element of your shyness. That voice is an element of your character. That voice is an element of who you are as a person, whether you are a good or a bad person. What are we talking about today? We are talking about character development, character formation as part of the fasting of Ramadan. Shyness and faith, they are intertwined. So when we fast, we get Iman, because part of Arkanul Iman is that we know how to fast. But what we get as part of our character reformation is the aloha of an Iman. Part of it is shyness. How do we know that shyness and a man who is shy is also a man who was, during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was a companion, his name is Uthman ibn Affan, one of the Khalifa of this religion. Uthman ibn Affan has a different processor, a different treatment by the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What was this treatment? When Abu Bakr comes, Abu Bakr Siddiq, when he comes into the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet is lying down, the Prophet will remain lying down when Abu Bakr is coming in. Abu Bakr will come, assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, coming. He will remain at the same place. When Umar comes, and you know all of them have their description by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Umar, when he comes, he alayhi salatu wasalam, if he's lying down, he will remain in the same place and say, let Umar come in. But when Uthman comes, if the Prophet is lying on the floor, the Prophet will stand up for Uthman. Our mother Aisha radiallahu anha asked her husband, what is the difference among these three people? Why is it that when Abu Bakr comes, if you're lying down, you remain there? When Umar comes and any other person comes, if you're lying down, you remain there. But when Uthman comes, you will stand up. Why is this sunnah different here? He said to Aisha radiallahu anha, Ya Aisha, Ali tastahi min rajulu alladhi tastahi minhu al-malaikatu. Should I not be shy of a man that the angels are shy of? That is Uthman. And that is why he says, Al-hayawu min al-iman. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. To be shy is from having iman. Wa ahya'i min ummati Uthman ibn Affan. And the most shy man in my ummah is Uthman ibn Affan. And that is why he was the one that qualified to marry two daughters of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was why he was called Dhul Nurayn, the possessor of two lights. The man who married two bintayn of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-imanu al-hayawu min al. And to have ayah as a character, to be shy, is a practice that this month of Ramadan has taught us. When Ramadan goes, for our women who were nude before, they open all their body, they open all their shapes. What would you do? Would you draw away shyness and go out without hijab? For the men, who are lewd men, the man who believes that they are the rock and the solid voice of Abuja, the solid voice of London. They know what's going on. They ride the Benzes and they dress in the highest level of designer dresses and all that. We're not saying you shouldn't do all that. But what we are saying is that being a strong man does not end in alcoholism. A strong man does not end in belittling and misusing women. Because that is what hip-hop life is all about. Hip-hop life is all about alcohol. Hip-hop life is all about women. Hip-hop life is all about women. Hip-hop life is all about money, gains. That is not a shy man. That is not a shy man. So think about it. Think about the impact you will have around the people around you when you have a shy character. The majority of the time, the shy people, they draw people to themselves. People get drawn to the shy people. They want to deal with them. They want to trust them. It is different from the man who does not know how to talk, especially to the elderly. He does not know what to say, especially to their parents. They do not have any respect for the elderly people. When someone who is knowledgeable comes, they do not have any haya in dealing with them. They do not have shyness. And that's why you find some Muslims today on the internet. They go on the internet and they start raining abuses and curses upon people who had come and do good before them. It is part of the lack of haya as a character. It is part of lack of haya that your parents are sitting and you are sitting, you're on the telephone beside them to your friend. It is lack of disrespect, lack of haya. It is lack of haya. In fact, in Yoruba land, among our teachers, our Yoruba teachers who are Ustad, they will say, you cannot walk in front of your parents. How do you want to be walking in front of your parents if you have haya? You stay behind them. You remain calm. There are some cultures that are very extremely shy, you know. And those cultures, when you look at it properly, shyness does not mean that they're stupid. Shyness is part of what they practice. In fact, in those cultures, they don't even mention what they know how to say. Of course, there's difference between shyness and confidence. My brothers and sisters in Al-Din, having shyness is to know that as a character building exercise in Ramadan is to have respect for people, especially people that are older than you, your parents, co-workers at work, to carry yourself in a way that they know that you are not just abstaining from food and drinking, but you have respect, utmost respect for people who they are not part of your categories. Do not forget that allowing people to stop, to conclude by themselves, allowing people to talk, and you allow them to talk, conclude, allow them to say yes without you forcing them, is part of the character of a shy person. You know, the Ghulam who came to the Prophet to get the permission, the Ghulam, remember the boy who came to practice. Part of shyness is to respect the person who is talking. Part of our sunnah. That boy came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He approached the Prophet and said, "Oh Allah, Prophet of Allah, allow me to perform zina." The Prophet sallallahu asked him in a cool voice, "Do you want it to be done to your mother?" He said, "No." "Do you want it to be done to your sisters?" He said, "No." "Do you want your auntie to go through this experience?" He said, "No." He alayhi salatu wasalam, he made dua for him. Shyness made that boy, the personality, the coolness of the character of the Prophet, made that boy forget the sunnah. Made that boy forget the evil of the zina that he wanted to perform. So shyness is part of what Ramadan has come to teach us. On the last note, there are two more points that Ramadan has come to teach us. One is what I call the power of small deeds. The power of small deeds. The power of small wins. Ramadan has come to let us know that you don't need to overwhelm yourself when you have the ability to do it. You are meant to do this, but this is ability that you have. Do the little that you have. And that's what Ali said. He said did what read. Said did. Close the gap as much as you can. What read. Come close to the standard. Don't be left behind. If you know that you can pray 8 rakah of Tarawih, said did what go and pray Tarawih. If you can pray 20, go and pray 20. If you have ability to pray 8, pray that 8 completely well and just leave the rest. Even if other people are praying 20, small deeds. The Ramadan has made it clear to the Muslims that you do not need to overwhelm yourself with big ibadat and you get lost into it when you don't have the ability. Stick with the little. Because Ramadan is a month where when we do little, we get big reward. For those of you who know my campaign in those days, I used to say, small deeds, big rewards. Small deeds, big. There are a lot of it in Ramadan. It is in Ramadan that you say Alif Lam Mim, 3 letters, and then you get 30 rewards times 10 in Ramadan. It is in Ramadan that you feed somebody who is fasting, and then you get the full reward of that person that you have fed without your own privileges. It is Ramadan that you perform Umrah in Ramadan, and then you get the reward of Hajj. It is in the Ramadan that you would pray in one night, like that, and you will get the reward of 1,000 months. Small deeds, big reward. Small deeds, big reward. It is in the Ramadan that you are fasting, you visit a sick person, and you pray janazah, and then you get paradise. Let me say that again. You are fasting, you visit a sick person, and then you also pray janazah. He alayhi salatu wasalam says, who wants to get paradise? Who today had fasted? Who today had visited a sick person? Who today had prayed janazah? Whoever can do that thing, 3 things in one day, that person will be an inmate of paradise. So, brothers and sisters, if you are fasting and you can visit a sick person and you know where janazah is in East London Mosque, and you can go and pray janazah and follow the corpse if you can, that practice, if you do it with the intention that you want to gain what he alayhi salatu wasalam said, that small deed that you have done will give you bigger reward. It is only wrong that somebody will wake up before Fajr in the morning and eat and drink something in Zahur, and then they will get blessings, a lot of blessings. Come on, call alayhi salatu wasalam. فَتَسَحُرِي فَإِنَّ فِي السُّهُرِ بَرَكَةً. Eat the Zahur, the morning meal pre-down food. Eat. And when you eat it, you will get more blessings. So one key thing that God has come to teach us is to teach us how to stick to small deeds that will give us big rewards, whether during Ramadan or after Ramadan. The one who says Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azimi, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azimi, that statement that he has said is the key feeling, and it is well loved by Allah. The one who says Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar when they wake up in the middle of the night without doing any other thing, they say that and they make dua, boom, automatically they say small thing and they get a lot of istijabah. So there are so many small deeds that you can do. The one who sees an orphan is not even sponsored an orphan. Some people, I mean, especially for those of you in the West, everything you want to do is about your own children, your children, your children. You don't think about other people's children. When we were growing up, our parents did not raise us. No, they raised us with other people's children. Today, you as parents, you are only raising your own children. That is a call for those of you who do not have other people's children under them. There are hundreds and hundreds of orphans under our charity in Nigeria. A lot of orphans that they are looking for somebody to pay their school fees. They are looking for somebody to send them, to give them food to eat. A lot of orphans. And one of our programs is we allow you, we link you with the orphans. We don't want you to give us anything. We will just link you. If you have money, you call me, and then I will link you to an orphan, and then you adopt that orphan, and you raise that orphan like your own child. And you know the one who raises an orphan, he alayhi salatu wasalam said, it will be like this with me in the paradise. It will be like this, meaning that you'll be shoulder to shoulder with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam if you can raise an orphan. What is the element? Now, what is the character reformation of having the small deeds in? So all the small deeds, big reward, do not belittle them. And this is the power of small deeds. Now, the last thing that Ramadan has taught us as part of character reformation before time goes away is the etiquette of al-ikhtilaf. Part of your character as a Muslim, which Ramadan has come to reform, is to know how to differ with people. The ability to know how to differ. You know, in Ramadan, even from the beginning of Ramadan, we will see a lot of differences. Some people will say, they've sighted the moon in Kaduna. They've not sighted the moon in Lagos. And then you see the Muslim different. You see them different. It has happened during the time of the Prophet and the companions. That does not need to cause any problem. Because the one who sees the moon or sighted the moon and the Imam of the Muslims, the Amir of the Muslims can confirm it, they can start fasting where they are. Because there's a possibility they will sight the moon in Nigeria before London, or in Saudi Arabia before London. That is known. The ability to know, that I want to pray 8 or 20 rakah of Tarawih Mhm. Of course, if you have the ability to pray 20, pray 20. Do not fight the one who is praying 8. Or if you are praying 8, do not fight the one who is praying 20. Whichever one is easy for you, go and do it. When Ramadan falls, when Ramadan ends, and the Ramadan day, there is a Friday and there's an Eid day on the same day. Mhm. Maybe I don't know whether this one will end on a Friday, but when it ends on a Friday, there is a sunnah to practice. When the Eid day falls on a Friday, and there is Juma, Salatul Juma, and there is Eid prayer, there is a choice to pray either of the two. Some of the scholars will say, if you pray one, you don't need to pray the other. Some people say you have to pray the two. Some people say, oh, because some people need to travel from far away to pray Salatul Eid. When they go back, they want to go back to go and slaughter and enjoy the food with their family. You want them to travel back? It can cause some inconvenience. Some people can choose to come in the morning and pray Salatul Eid because it is the day of Juma. And they will not pray, come back for Juma. They will pray Dhuhr in their houses. Doing both is okay. You come to the masjid in the morning, you find that, oh, the Salatul Juma, the Jama'ah has already been prayed. And then you return back home to pray your own. If you stay in the mosque and pray by yourself, it is allowed. There's an evidence for that. If you join other people to pray another Jama'ah, there is evidence for that. The most popular one during the time of the Prophet and the companions is that they return back home and pray. If you find someone returning back home after the main Jama'ah has been prayed in the mosque, don't fight him, don't differ with him. These are all allowed. Some people want to complete the recitation of the Quran within a few days. Some people want to take more days to perform, to finish it off. Some people want to go and perform Umrah. Some people do not want to go and perform Umrah. Some people want to do itikaf in Masjid al-Haram or Masjid al-Nabawi in Medina. Some people can only perform Umrah in their local masjid or East London masjid. Do not differ too much with the people. One of the lessons of Ramadan is that we learn how to differ with people by not differing too much. Al-ikhtilaf because there is evil in differing too much. My brothers and sisters in heaven, where we are gone is that He alayhi salatu wasalam has said, definitely I have been raised as a prophet. I have been raised to come and perfect human character. Every element of religion of Islam, from as-salah to siyam to zakat to hajj, every one of them has an impact on our character. What is the lessons? The impact of our Ramadan. The lessons of our Ramadan is, number one, it makes us more patient against complaining, against sinning, and against using our tongue. It trains and restrains our tongue. So we use our tongue in the constructive way of worshiping Allah and not in the wrath of Allah. It makes us a more civil person by teaching us how to be more sharp in the month of Ramadan. It makes us understand that doing little deeds as a person sometimes might be better than even doing the big one. كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام لا يحقرن أحدكم شيئا من المعروف اتق النار ولو بشيء تمر. Even if it is big with the half of a date that you do, it would help people and it would make your character better. Finally, brothers and sisters in Allah, having respect for differences of opinion, especially in religious matter and even in worldly and lively matter, is a form of character that when the Muslim practices as a character, as a lesson from Ramadan, you allow people, you have respect for people, it will show in who you are as a person. It will show when you are a patient person. It will show when you know where, what, and what to say and how to say it by using your mouth in the most shy, in the most civil way. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this submission as something that will be heavy on our scale of our salat yawm al-qiyamah, and to count all of us among the people that will take this away as our character reformation goal in the month of Ramadan. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على رسوله الكريم وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
بارك الله فيك يا أستاذ وأحسن الله إليكم.
آمين.
We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for the what you've taught us today and what you've reminded us with. And subhanallah, you mentioned quite a lot of benefits and things that we can learn from the month of Ramadan. From the things that you started off with was a taqwa, and you then went on to remind us about good character, which includes sabr, the use of our tongue, shyness in al-Islam, and it being part of al-Iman. And then obviously repentance as well, and seeking closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with repentance, especially during this month of Ramadan. And obviously the from the thing that you also mentioned was about the small deeds with big rewards. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you immensely for that which you have reminded us today with. I just before we I'm just going to sort of leave people to put questions on here on the group if they're able to. But before we do that, Ustad, based on our two campaigns that we are doing right now on the Muslim platform, I'm just going to run one or two sort of promotion videos, and then you can talk about it for us, inshallah, on the which is the TMP essentially, on what we're raising for, and also the TWFs, inshallah. So please bear with me whilst I play this so that you can everyone can see. So this.
أبدا لن نحيد أبدا لن نحيد أبدا لن نحيد عن خطى الإيمان دربنا درب قويم دربنا درب قويم بالهدى القرآني أبدا لن نحيد أبدا لن نحيد أبدا لن نحيد عن خطى الإيمان دربنا درب قويم دربنا درب قويم بالهدى القرآني سائر في طريق الحق يا جند الله سائر في طريق الحق يا
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As you know, at the Wellness Foundation, Al-Mu'assasatul Afiyah, we are dedicated to doing good for others, especially those in desperate need. There are many people this Ramadan who will go hungry, well beyond the time of iftar. And that is why we are here in the bustling markets of Lagos, Nigeria. We are on a mission to procure the staple food items for those in need. With your support, we can continue to make a real difference in the lives of the less fortunate, funding the foods from rice, beans, cassava to palm oil. Every donation helps us to provide the much needed supplies to those that need it most. Join us on this journey and be a part of something truly impactful. Thank you for your support, and let's make a difference together. The Wellness Foundation, doing good for others.
Now, so the first one in there is to let everyone on the call know that the Muslim platform, we have a lot of programs in this month of Ramadan, starting from today and tomorrow. There's going to be a tafsir, and next Saturday, next Sunday, there will be other tafsir of the Quran. So tomorrow, inshallah, please, on this poster now you see I think it's going to be Yoruba tafsir tomorrow, inshallah. And then next weekend, there will be other tafsir as well, and the other lectures. I think the next Sunday is going to be a marriage seminar that we normally do in Ramadan. Please make sure you dial in the way you have dialed in today to learn from the teachers and the shuyukh that we have brought this year, inshallah. Now, after Ramadan, it's a weekly online lesson. So as you've seen in that, jingle, we have the Creed class, the Aqidah class, where Sheikh Al-Imam, he goes into different books and teaches the foundation of our religion. We also have the Abu Hanifa's class that teaches many other elements of our religion as well. And then we have the MRB, even though the MRB now is going to become a podcast being there. And then we have the marriage series. If you look at the Muslim platform YouTube, you will find a lot of marriage series seminars that we have done. So in this month of Ramadan, please try to share the poster, try to invite other people so that people can benefit. There's a difference between us bringing a lot of information that whether you like it or you don't, those information might be a little bit different, okay? Because the intention behind doing this is so that people can understand Islam. We don't have any other intention. There's no other intention behind it. And when the intention is like that, there's a possibility that might be different. So when those things are packaged, I think it's best that we can deliver it to people for their benefit. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward every one of us who are helping us to share the information and to let people know what we are doing. And then we ask Allah to accept it from all of us for joining and for participating. That's number one. Number two is, whether you like it or you don't, in the month of Ramadan, it is the best time to give sadaqah, to give charity. And we have said this year, we are going to be distributing food in Nigeria, not in the UK, obviously, because you guys in the UK, you all have food in your fridge. Probably have enough chicken and chips on your table, right? So even in mosques, there are free iftar and, So what we want to do is we want to distribute food stocks in Nigeria. So we want you to pay your money to the Wellness Foundation. Wellness Foundation is part of the Muslim platform. Everyone within the Wellness Foundation, they are also within the Muslim platform. We just use that foundation for distribution of our charity during the month of Ramadan. So we distribute food stuff in Nigeria. So I would really, really encourage you to pay your money to the Wellness Foundation account and get the reward from that. Number two is that whether we know or we don't, for activities like this to be more beneficial and to continue, there will be a need for people behind the scene. I pray Allah to reward everyone behind the scene of the Muslim platform. Personally, I've not been involved actively myself, if not for those brothers who have been helping out. So if you want to volunteer, you want to be part of it, please get in touch with the brothers in the admin, because inshallah, after Ramadan, the Muslim platform is taking a new brand and a new direction. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for all of us. Dr. Adetunji, before we go, do we have any question from anyone before we go? Because it's nearing our iftar, I think.
Yes, Ustad, we have a question here. So the person, someone's asked her, Barakallahu feekum, Ustad, please, how can someone develop connectivity with his Rabb, especially in this month when he finds it, when he finds it to connect spiritually? Also, what can he do to reduce feeling of jealousy of others?
Allah, barakallahu feekum. That's a beautiful one. I think that's the only question we're going to take. Now, brothers and sisters, we have a lot of opportunities in the month of Ramadan. How can you connect with your Lord in the month of Ramadan? Number one is to seek Tawbah. It is the month of Tawbah. And that's what Ian says, when this month of Ramadan comes, say, Allahumma innaka afuwun kareem tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. You call on the name of Al-Afu, the God who is Al-Afu, is Al-Ghafurun, but in another form. Ask for forgiveness. Tawbah. You know what you have done. I know what I have done. The best of it is to come back to Allah and do tawbatan nasuha, to stick tawbah of the deed. And you know, Allah does not promise except that He will grant that promise. Whoever comes to Allah to seek tawbah from whatever evil they've been doing. So maybe somebody will be holding their tongue in a destructive way. Maybe they've been having envy. Pray to Allah to forgive. Then after you've asked for forgiveness, make dua that Allah, oh Allah, help me with this attitude of envy and jealousy. Remove from my heart. There's a prayer, special prayer you can do. The oh Allah, remove from my heart. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our teacher, Sheikh Aminullah Ibrahim, Baba Medina in Ilorin. He used to say to us in Ilorin in those days that before you can get envy and jealousy out of your life, You need to ask Allah to operate your heart, because Allah has created that as part of everyone, every son of Adam. You need to ask Allah specifically to remove it from you. So beg Allah to remove envy, jealousy from you. Beg Allah, seek that from Allah, that, oh Allah, remove from me the evil of jealousy, the evil of envy, so I do not envy whatever anyone has. That is number one. Number two is to have the mindset as well. The mindset that when you envy someone, that envy is envying the work that Allah has done. Let's say someone has a beautiful house, or a beautiful car, or a beautiful house, or they have knowledge, or they have money. Whatever anyone has, it is Allah who has granted them. It is Allah who has given it to them. So when you envy it, or when you wish them for bad, it is as if you are wishing the work of Allah bad. That is how bad that is. So, my brother and my sisters in honesty, make sure you know the mindset that you need to have when you see people having good. So in the month of Ramadan, seeking nearness to Allah is starting from seeking Tawbah. The recitation of the Quran, which is the month of Quran, reciting the Quran, praying Tarawih, giving sadaqah, making sure you do good, and doing good to be prioritized, especially doing good to our parents, doing good to our neighbors, doing good to people who do not do good to us. Doing good to people who do not do good to us. Being nice and good to people who are not nice to us. And moving away from anything that is sinful. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us. Abu Abdullah, I think we should stop here because of Al-Iftar. Jazakumullahu khairan. Salam.
Naam, barakallah fik, Ustad. Inshallah, we'll leave it here, inshallah. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefits us from that which we have heard today. There will be class tomorrow by Sheikh Dr. Luqman Idris Shekuni, and it's going to be on tafsir of some ayats from the Quran. That's going to be at 3:30 UK time, 4:30 Nigeria time, 6:30 Qatar time. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيك.